And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. What's up, my YouTube friend, viewers, subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger motivational video. Let's get it. Stop trying to control others. And the reason I say this is the only person that you can truly control is yourself. So you don't control how somebody talk to you. You don't control how somebody treat you. You don't control how somebody look at you. So if you try to control somebody else, you're wasting your time, because the only thing you can truly give another person is information, and that's about it. But it's up to them what they do with that information. You can't control them. You can probably try to guide them in how they should treat you or how they should treat somebody else, but that's the only thing you could do, because you don't control what they say. You don't control what they do. If you have friends, you don't control what your friends are doing. So if there's somebody arguing with you or somebody treating you unfair or whatever, the best thing you can do is, I would say, remove yourself before things become a bigger deal, because you don't control them. You may beat yourself up and try to force them how to talk to you or not embarrass you, or doesn't matter what the case may be. You do not control nobody else. And like I said before, the only thing you can do is try to guide them in a way that you want them to talk to you, how you want them to treat you. Because like friends, you can have a bunch of friends, and everyone have that one friend that like to take things way too far. So with that being said, you don't control what that friend is doing. The only thing you can control is you can talk to your friend and say, hey, didn't like this, or can you not do that? You know what I mean? So you can control other people. That's why I say stop trying to control others, because people be beating themselves up hoping somebody else would do this. And no. Garbage. The only person you can control is yourself and your own mind. That's the only thing. You can go in even when you work with people, how your manager talk to you, how your coworkers talk to you, you don't control how they talk to you. You don't control it. So you may sit down and beat yourself up and say, oh, I don't want you to talk to me like this, and blah, 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 blah. But it's up to them to how they want to talk to you, how they want to treat you. You don't control what other people are doing. So it makes no sense for you to try to control them if you can't control them, because like I said, you can't control others. You can't. They may make a mistake, or they may disrespect you in some ways, but the only thing you can say is, can you not do it again? That's it. You can say that to them, and they will. That's on their end to decide whether they want to do it again or not. So stop beating yourself up. You can't control them, and until you admit the fact that you can't control them, then your life will be way easier, and you'll be at peace. Because even in relationships, you can't force your boyfriend to talk to you a certain way. You can't force your girlfriend to talk to you a certain way. Even in marriage, you can't force them to tell you or appreciate you. Those stuffs you can't do. They have to genuinely do it. So you can't control other people. So I would strongly recommend, stop wasting your time. You are breaking your back telling your partner how they should talk to you, how they should treat you, how they should spend time with you. No. Garbage. Let me tell you something. A person would do something if they want to do it. If you have to fight with somebody or argue with somebody for them to make time with you, then they don't want to do it. So I strongly recommend, and I've always said this, let a person do whatever they want to do, because they will show you what they rather do. Do not say to them, oh, you should do this, or you should take out the trash, or you should sweep out the house. No. You are not their parent. So with that being said, you don't tell them what to do. You don't tell them how to treat you. You don't tell them how to speak to you, because you can't control how they may treat you or talk to you. So with that being said, you let a person do, even in friendships, acquaintance, co-workers, whatever the case may be, people in general. If you really want to know how a person really is, you let that person do whatever they want to do. Don't try to guide them. Don't try to tell them what to do. No. You sit back. Even if you're in a relationship, friendships, relationships, when you're dealing with people in general, do not force them to do anything. Let them do whatever they want to do, because they will show you what they rather do. Do not force them. Because if you're trying to force somebody to do something and they're arguing back, then that's 100% proof in fact that they don't want to do it. That's why they're arguing back. So if you got a friend and you got a job and you're trying to say to your friend, oh, go get a job, and they're arguing back with you, that's because that person don't want to go get a job. They don't want to do it. That's why they're arguing back. Or if you're doing something or you're moving, and then you ask your friend, hey, can you come and help me move this little stuff? And they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. They don't want to do it. People do stuff genuinely, freely, without you even asking. How much times have you been, say, in the grocery store or whatever, and you see like a senior moving, pushing something or bringing something or doing anything, and you genuinely help? That's because you know that they're in need of help. That's why you genuinely help. And you don't want nothing in return because that was genuine. But people, when they want something in return, that's called using. So it's like a favor. So you do something for them and then they do something for you. That's it. That's called a favor. So no, don't control them. Do not say to them, oh, you should do this or help me do this. The moment a person starts arguing with you back, they don't want to do it. That's why they're arguing. And you can hear it in their tone when you call them. Or when you speak to them, you can see it on their face if you can read body language well. So don't try to control nobody. The best you could do is maybe ask them. Don't try to demand. Because asking and demanding is the same thing. Asking is like 50-50 whether they want to do it or not. You gave them an option to choose if they want to do it or not. And demanding is like saying to them, oh, you have to do this, you got no choice. If that makes sense. So stop wasting your time trying to control people. You can't control them. Not even your own kids you can't control. You can try to guide your kids and say, oh, don't do this or do this. You can try to guide them. But your kid will still do what they rather do. Same thing with your spouses. Same thing with co-workers. Same thing with friends. Same thing with people out there. They will do whatever they want to do. And all you got to do is let them do it. And then they will show you what they rather do. So all the time you breaking your neck trying to force somebody in how to talk to you, how to treat you. No. No, that's a mistake that you made. That's why you guys keep arguing back and forth, because you're trying to control them. Let me tell you something. People do not like to be controlled. They rather do stuff on their own free will, if that makes sense. So if you have to say to a friend, oh, can you not embarrass me? Can you not disrespect me? They did whatever they do on their own free will. Like I said, people act however they want to act, and they treat you according to how they see you fit. That's why if you got 10 friends, all 10 of your friends treat you differently when they are around different friends, if that makes sense, because they talk about you differently amongst each other. So if you got a 10 group of friends with you, and if you notice, if you're hanging out with 3, they are different with each other when they're with you. And if you're with another 3, then those 3 are different. And then the other 2, they're different. Because let me tell you something. All the friends you got, they are different around, like every friend is different around different set of friends, if that makes sense. Because everyone talk about people differently amongst each other. So you may sit down with a friend and you, just from them looking at you, you can see that you are not on the same level as them, both mentally and physically and every type of way. You can see it. And when a friend not say praise and glorify, but when they admire you, they will try to do everything else like you. They will try to, not say be like you, but they will try to mimic you. Well, technically the same thing. But you get the point. So don't want to try to control people. Stop wasting your time. Stop wasting your time. Stop breaking your back. Stop telling that person down the street how they should talk to you, how they should treat you, or breaking your back. However they want to do. If you want to adjust the situation, then that's fine. But as far as you can go, you have to say to them, I don't like that, and blah, 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 blah. Now, let me tell you something. You see, if a person disrespect you once and you let it slide, they will do it again. You let it slide, they will do it again. So with that being said, if a person do something for the very first time, you have to shut it down just like that, then and there. If you don't want him to do it again, then you have to say something right away. Because if a person do something and you let them think it's okay, then they will eventually do it again, because to them it's okay. That's why if somebody disrespect you or talk to you a certain way or embarrass you and nothing was said, they always do it again because they think it's okay for them to bully you. And notice, when somebody talked to you a certain way or treating you a certain way and then you said something, they never do it again. They may try it again once in a while, because let me tell you, so people on the whole, they test you. Like, it's in people's nature to test how much you can manage, how much you can handle, and how far they can go. So if you have a friend or acquaintance or somebody, they will joke around with you just to see how far they can push things, because they want to know your limit, because they don't know how far you're willing to take a joke. So they can joke, talk, blah 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 blah, and then when they hit that mark where it's like, yeah, now you're getting too personal, then they sort of pull back just a little bit, and then to them they're like, okay, so I can joke about these kind of stuff, but can't joke around these type of stuff, because people on the whole, they test you. If you meet somebody for the very first time, they will test you, because everybody want to know if they can control somebody else, if they can manipulate them, if they can have them, not say work for them, but use them. That's the word I'm looking for. So with that being said, is right away you have to say something, because if you make everything slide, then they will eventually do it again. And you guys are watching me, how much times have somebody mistreated you, and then you're like, you know what, you're worth my time, so I'll take myself somewhere else. And then as time go by, they do it again, and then you sitting down beating yourself up, hoping they will stop. Hoping is next to failing, because you're wishing somebody else to get it done. So with that being said, you have to say something, because you can't control that. You may sit down and say, oh, why are they doing this, or why are they doing that? They are fully aware of everything what they're doing. So the same way how you get up and you know what you're doing, that's the same way how they know what they're doing. Same exact thing. So you can't sit down and hope they will change and try to control them. Oh, don't do this or don't. No. If you really want to know a person's intention, you let them act of their own free will. That's how you will know how that person is, and if they want to do something genuine for you, or they're trying to use you. Because there are people out there that are trying to use you, trying to take from you, trying to borrow from you. Those people are there. But you have to decide which one you want around you. Stop trying to control others, because you can't. Let me say it one more time, because that's the punchline throughout the whole video. The only person you can control is yourself. You control what you do. Not even your own siblings, you don't control what they do. If you got a lot of siblings, how much times have you said, oh, don't touch my charger, oh, don't use my water bottle, or don't lay on my bed, or don't wear my shoes, blah, blah, blah. How much times have you said that to them? But still, they still do what they rather do. So with that being said, if you sit down, you only say something because you don't like it. Because when people are at a breaking point, that's when they snap, and that's when they say, oh, I don't like this, and blah, blah, blah. Because you got two set of people. You got the first set is the one that never said anything until it's too late, when they can't take anymore. That's the first. So people will talk to you a certain way. If you have siblings, they will do whatever they want to do, blah, 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 until you reach your breaking point, and then you have to say to them, I don't like this. I don't want you doing that. I don't want you laying in my bed. I don't want you doing it. You know, like, you guys understand if you got siblings. That's just how it is. And then you got the other set. That's like, you do it now. They tell you now because they don't want to have to do it again. That's like me. Because that's all you can. Because, like I said, if something happened and you let it slide, they will do it again. And if you sit down and you're watching them and waiting for them to realize, they will never realize. Because to them, they think it's okay. That's why they keep doing it. And if you never said anything, they're not going to say nothing either. And they're not going to do anything. Because we live in a world where people think if you know something, then they will say something. But people like me, I can know everything and said nothing. Because people automatically assume I don't know nothing because nothing was said. So with that being said, that's how you know a lot of stuff. Because nothing was said. So you have to be observant. So you have to decide what type of person you really are. Are you the one that you wait for them to stop, and then you wait till you're at your breaking point before you snap? Or you're the type of person to say it right away? Because if you're the type of person that wait till you're at your breaking point, then that's probably why. you're having so much trouble with others out there because they do whatever they want and you sit down and you let it slide. No, 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 garbage. Garbage. People get comfortable the longer they know you and the longer they think you guys have been friends or you guys have bond together. Then they think they know you because they're comfortable with you. So they will start talking to you and treating you how they want to. And how you present yourself is how people treat you. Because if somebody think that you are better than them, then they won't try to say belittle you. They will try to make you a rival of them. So if a person think that you're better than them, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a competition. No, 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 no. You let them do whatever they want to do. Because me, I don't know, for whatever reason, people always see me as a competition. I don't ever focus on like competing with people because I'm a type of guy. If I go somewhere, I present myself in a way that, in the type of life that I want. I was about to say something else, but that's the best I came up with for now. Because I don't want you all to know my business. But you guys know what's going on. So that being said, people present themselves in a way and then you got others, oh, you think it's better than me? No, 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 no. Garbage. People that think you're better than them, that's because they view you as a rival. They may want to be like you. They may be jealous of you because you can do stuff or you can present yourself in a way that they can't. That's why they say you think you're better than them. And notice, you never said that. They think that, but it was never said. So don't waste your time trying to control others, because like I said before, you can't. You can't. So if you can't control your own siblings, you can't control your kids, you think you can control your partner? No, you can't. So with that being said, you guys have to want the same thing in order for whatever you guys are doing has to work. So if you're in a relationship, in order for that relationship to last, you guys have to want the same thing and have your own set of stuff to focus on. Same thing with marriage. Same thing if you live with somebody. If you got a roommate, same thing. You can't say to your roommate, oh, I don't want you to bring any friends over, because number one, a roommate is the person that lived there that paid the other half of the bill. So they are entitled to the place just as much as you. That's why for me, I'm the type of guy, I'd rather live by myself instead of having a roommate. Because when you live with somebody, then you have to deal with them bringing people over, making you uncomfortable, always in the washroom. You can't watch TV in peace. You need a TV. You understand? Like, people have different preferences. But you can't say to your roommate, oh, I don't want you to bring that friend over because that friend do this and no. They are just, you can't even control your own roommate. You can't control your siblings. You can't control anything. What you can control is yourself. And I've said that throughout the whole video because that's what this video is all about. That's why I keep saying it. So stop trying to control others. The best you can do is say something. But it's up to you what you say, if you rather say it right away or you rather wait until it's drawn out. Because like I said, there are two types of people. One like that wait till it's too late, and then the one that say it right away so that they don't have to address the situation again. Let them do what they want to do, because like I said, they will show you what they rather do. So if you, or in a, for how much time if you had a friend and then you're not trying to control your friend, then they met another friend and then they're going all over the place and then they left you behind, or they treated you unfair because you were working, or whatever the case may be. And then you're sitting down wondering why that friend is doing this, or your friend that you go out with, they are going out with some other people, and you're sitting down. Like, I got different examples for this. And then you're sitting down waiting for them to notice. They notice. Because let me tell you something. People know exactly what they're doing. The same way how you get up and you know, you're fully aware of what you're doing, they're exactly the same. They know what they're doing. You may sit down and say, oh, why did that person do that? Or why did they do this? They are fully aware. That's probably the best option they can come up with. Because that's what I noticed. Like, people, when they make decisions, they make the same way how you make a decision and you think about different ways and then you choose the best possible one. They did the same thing. They choose the best possible option that they could come up with. So when you sit down and you're looking at somebody doing something, that's a decision that they made. So if you see somebody broke, homeless, somebody bringing themselves all type of way, that's a decision that they made. And then you're sitting down looking back and saying, oh, but I will never make that decision. Yeah, you would never make that decision because you know better. So why are you breaking your back trying to control them to make a decision that you would make? You guys don't have the same mentality. So that being said, it's the same thing. That's a decision that they made. That's why they're like that. You ever wonder how, even in school, like high school or whatever, you ever wonder how kids do stuff? And then you're sitting down like, bro, how did they do that? Or co-workers or friends or family, you're like, wow, that family did that? And you're sitting down looking all surprised and you're like, so they really did this instead of doing that? That's because they didn't think about it the way you did. Like, people think differently. Like, not everyone is like a deep thinker that think things all the way through. That's why they mess themselves up. Majority of people that mess themselves up are the ones that didn't think all the way through. They probably sit down and say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go do this. And then they ask somebody else, oh, what you think? And they're like, well, if you're happy, then you're happy. So yeah, go do whatever you want to do. Then before you know it, they mess themselves up, everything turns sideways, then they're sitting down wondering how did they end up like that. That's because of their own decisions. That's why most times if you see somebody in a situation and you go and say like, why did you do this, or how did you end up like this? This is why they argue back, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. So you can't control them and say, oh, why did you do this? You should have done that instead, because that would have been different and you wouldn't have ended up like this. They don't want to hear because they didn't know. They're not you. So you can't sit down and expect a person to act based off what you think they should do, because they're not you. You can't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to give that person a chance to do this. If they don't know better, then they can't do better. If better was never taught, they can't do it. They can't. So you may sit down and beat yourself up and say, oh, this person is doing this and why can't they do that? They don't know any better. They don't. You know better. That's why you're the one sitting down beating yourself up, hoping for them to do what you rather them to do. And like I said, hoping is next to failing, because you leave that in somebody else's hand without you doing anything about the situation. And then when you go forward and try to demand them and try to control them, then they're arguing back because they don't want to do it. If you understand what I'm saying. So technically you can't control others. I've given you guys a lot of different reasons of why you can't control others. So you guys have to decide if what I say is right or wrong. Because I talk from my point of view. Well, how you see things may be different from the way how I see things. Because me, I don't think you can't control nobody. Nobody. The only one you can control is yourself. You control whatever decision you make. You control lifting this up. I can't put this down on the street and have a bunch of people walk by and hope somebody will pick it up. If they don't know what it is, they'll never pick it up. If it's not valuable to them or they don't know what it's for, they will never pick it up. So with that being said, I can't have them do what I want them to do. That makes sense. You can't. And the only way you can truly manipulate somebody is when they're really upset because they're not thinking. You can't control a person that's sober. That makes sense. I don't want to go down in details to trying to teach you guys how to control somebody or how to manipulate them. But no, I'm focusing on what we're talking about. Because there's only one way that you can not take control, but manipulate them to work and do what you rather them to do. But you can't control others. You can't. You may sit. This is why you're beating yourself up. Because you're waiting. And you're waiting too long and you're still beating yourself up. Bro, you can't. All those people you see outside that are homeless, you don't think they know that they're homeless? All those people that you see on the street broke, you don't think they know that they're broke? They know. Like I said, the same way how you are fully aware of what's going on around you and what you're doing, it's the same way with them. The only difference is, however they end up, that's the best possible option that they could come up with. Because you may sit down and you may think, oh, I think it's better for me to get up and go get a job. I think it's better for me to start a career, do what I love, try to get some money, try to travel the world, try to see the world. That's you. Them, on the other hand, they may sit down and think, oh, it's better for me to sit down here and do nothing with myself and go try to go beg out on the street. They think that's better. That's why they do it, because they rather do it. How much times have you go to like an intersection and you see people standing up with cardboard begging, or you go to a grocery store and they're asking for spare change? Because they think that's better. They don't want to work for it. They rather beg it from somebody that already worked for it, if that makes sense. So when you work for yours and you go to a store and you get some change, then they sit down outside, on the outside, waiting for you to come so they can ask you. Because they are expecting you go to the grocery store, they are expecting you to come back with change. But what if you use your card? Then you don't got no change to give. But to them, they think it's better. If you go argue with a person that's homeless or a person that's broke, they will argue back. And that's the reason why they're arguing back, because they think that's the best way to do it. They think that's the best way to go. So like I said, you can't control others. No matter how hard you try, you can't. You can't. And that's why they keep arguing back. Because they don't want to be told what to do. If you sit down with a person and you say to them, oh, I'd rather you do this instead of do that, and that person is arguing back, that's because they don't want to do it. Anytime a person argue back and they refuse to listen, it's because they don't want to do what you're saying. That's why they're arguing back. So even if they don't say, oh, don't tell me what to do, or they give you an attitude, like, what's wrong with you? They don't want you to tell them what to do. That's why they're giving you an attitude. And they don't want to be controlled. That's why they keep asking. If you keep telling a person something and they keep arguing back, they don't want to be told what to do, because they already made a decision and they're comfortable with the decision that they made. That's why they're arguing back. So you can't argue with a broke person to go get a job. Pointless. You can't control them. You are literally wasting your time right then and there. You are. You are. So I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Remember, the only thing or person you can control is your own brain and your own movements. You can't control what everybody else is doing. Not your mom, dad, sister, brother, auntie, uncle, boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, nephew, niece, nobody. None of your family. No, you can't control nobody but yourself. The best thing you can do is guide them, but you can't. But if you really want to know a person's intention, let them act out their own free will, because they will show you what they rather do, then you make a decision after they show you what they rather do. So thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. Your boy will be back doing more stuff. You go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.